Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so very excited to have you here. I've read some books from January until now that I've not put in videos that I'm really eager to talk about. I think that I've read some really good books in this quarter of reading, and like I said, a lot of them have not been included in any videos, which I did not think was gonna happen. I thought I wasn't gonna be doing any wrap-ups because I figured that pretty much every book that I was gonna read was gonna be in a video. Did not happen. That was not the case. So I have some things to talk about and discuss because I had nowhere else to share these feelings. So without further ado, we are going to go through my January, February, and March reading wrap up all in one video. So starting off with, this was like a rollover into January. So this was technically like the last book and first book that I read end of December, beginning of January, which is typically how this works. I always read a Blake Crouch, whether it is at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. Whatever the case, I always have one to read. So this time I ended up reading Upgrade, and this one honestly was not my favorite Blake Crouch book by any means. I love Dark Matter, I loved Recursion. I know that I didn't rate them super highly just because of the confusion that was going on in my head while reading it, but I absolutely love the storyline. I think about them both so frequently. I need Recursion to become a movie or a TV show immediately. I loved the show for Dark Matter. This one was not my favorite. I think the point of this one was that there was some type of, I don't want to say drug, but there was something that like the people could take or some way that they could upgrade their abilities, so they kind of were not like superhero, they were like superhuman in a way. It kind of reminds me of, if you watch The Boys, they have that compound V, and then if you take it you get the powers. So it's kind of like that. They have powers, but I don't remember if that world thinks that some people have it and some people don't, or if they just know that some people were subject to that type of thing. I don't know. Or maybe it was like the brother and sister that had it and they were like the only people and then everybody found, look, I don't even know. It was something like that. I didn't care for it at all. I like don't even remember that much about it because I just kind of read it and was like, oh, I don't really like the storyline. I don't really like the way that it's playing this out. And I also think it was very much like hide and seek. Somebody was kind of hiding from somebody else that was trying to capture them, and I just didn't love the way that that was executed. So this one I gave it a 3-star. Definitely not my favorite. I think looking back at it, I probably could have lowered it just because I don't like it. But I'm sure at that point with 3-star there was something that I was okay with, something that I was fine with, that I didn't mind. But yeah. Definitely not my favorite of his. I think I would rather read the other two than this one. Next, we have A Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This book I was not mad about, and I think I was not mad about it because it read more like a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and we know that those are my favorite. Those are some of my all-time favorite books. And I think that this one was pretty similar to that in terms of, hey, there's this person that is looking to have like a biography, autobiography. Essentially, this lady was contacting or contracting two authors to try to battle it out to see who was going to be able to write her life story. There was some plot twists with it. I did like it. I think the romance part of it, not my favorite. I didn't really care about that necessarily, but I did really like everything else. So I ended up giving this one a 4-star. I think so far out of all of the Emily Henry books that I've read, that one has been my favorite. Maybe that and like Book Lovers. I really did like Book Lovers, I will say. Probably an unpopular opinion, but I liked that one a lot. But yeah, 4 stars for that one. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I don't think that, you know, it was like great enough for me to want to reread or anything, but I think in the moment I really enjoyed it. Then we have Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I think this one was in a video, so I'll keep it short, sweet, simple. Basically, a girl ends up getting murdered or almost murdered. Somebody tries to murder her, and then she doesn't die, but she ends up having to solve her own murder. So she doesn't end up dying, but because of that, she wants to figure out who tried to kill her in the first place. So she's in turn solving her own murder because she has been given like a week or something to live before she succumbs to whatever injuries that she has because of this. I think plot overall really fascinating. I think the way that it was done was good. I do really love the anticipation that you get with Holly Jackson books. Like, there's not any moment of slowdown. There's just action happening at all points. It's just you're going. The only thing I didn't like about this one is I felt like the characters were older. They were like 27-ish, and they felt very immature and young to me. I don't love that. I feel like they cussed a lot, which is not necessarily something that I love in books, which it's not that big of a deal. It's just kind of a personal opinion. But I think that was happening a lot, and I feel like the characters felt very immature to me, and I didn't like that at all. So because of that, I gave it a 3-star. Again, not bad. Not bad at all. I still might recommend it, but it did feel very, very young. It felt like a very YA book based off of the actions and the attitudes that the characters had. Then, speaking of, I read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Absolutely love that book. It was so good. Literally none of these books could do any wrong in my opinion. I gave this one a 4-star just simply because it didn't feel like it fit the 5-star vibe for me. I think if I think of a 5-star, it would be like a Daisy Jones and the Six, Carrie Soto, the, what's that other one? Evelyn Hugo. Those I think about them frequently. This one, I still thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I liked the astronauts, the space, the storyline that we were following with getting them back from space. Great. Loved it, but for whatever reason, this one just wasn't as good in my opinion. I just didn't love it as much, so I just gave it 4-star, but still, nonetheless, very good. I would still always recommend it. Survive the Night, Riley Sager. This one was good. I think there was a lot of plot twist, unreliable narrator. It was really action-packed for being in like a small car. Like there was a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, oh, this is crazy. I'm scared for this person. Get out, whatever. I'm not gonna say that I fully guessed like every single plot twist that was going on, but I think for the most part, I just overall general, I guessed it. So it wasn't that crazy of a shock for me, which that does affect my ratings sometimes. For the most part, I usually just don't care and I'm fine writing it out. But this one, definitely good. I still think it was really interesting, but I'm not usually a fan of one place settings. I don't really love when we're stuck in a car. I don't like when we're watching a movie and they're stuck in a pool. They're freaking like stuck on a rock from a shark. You know what I mean? Like stuck in a cage. That type of thing is so overdone to me right now. And I don't love that. To me, it just, I hate to say it, it feels kind of like a cop-out, like, oh, I don't really want to come up with more like maybe I'm on a budget, whatever the case is. I don't like that, right? Not my favorite. So because it was kind of like this, I didn't really care for that as much. Now in a book, I do feel like it's kind of unique, but just, there were some pieces, some little parts that I felt like were trying to be plot twists that I just didn't really understand why they needed to be there. I thought it was kind of weird, but hey, it was still pretty good. I still enjoyed it. I gave it a 3-star. Not bad. Not bad at all. I possibly would recommend it if someone does like that type of thing, like stuck in one area. For me, not my favorite, but it was still better than freaking, what is that one? The House Across the Lake? That one. The ending? The ending ruined that book for me. A Flicker in the Dark, this was probably one of the first Book of the Month books I ever got. It was like one of the top 5 books that I ended up getting from Book of the Month. I gave this one a 3-star because it wasn't bad. I still think that Stacey Willingham, like, I love the plot twist that she has, but I think that it was so similar to, there's a Frida McFadden book, I can't remember what it's called. That book and the Flicker in the Dark were so similar in plots. It just didn't feel super unique. I was comparing the two. I was like, oh, I already feel like I know what's gonna happen based off of the Frida book. Now that doesn't mean that it happened or anything like that, but I think the two super similar storylines didn't make it like anything that I was, you know, super crazy about. I wasn't eager to read it or anything because I did kind of feel like I already read it. So I gave that one a 3-star. Still not bad. I enjoyed it. It was good. But yeah, it's not my favorite. Then I read The Favorites. This book I am obsessed with. I think it was so good. I think it was so dramatic. It was very Taylor Jenkins Reid-esque, so that's why I definitely really enjoyed it. I think the figure skatingness of it, the drama, the issues that they were having with other people, the other competitors, the like rivalries that were going on, and the insane passion that these two had, the chemistry that they shared, their journey of being together or not being together, just the whole thing, so great. I gave this one a 4-star. I loved that book. It was so good. I was just hooked the entire time. I think I read it pretty quickly as well. I think I read it in like a 24-hour-ish period. I could be wrong. But yeah, really good. Love that one. I finished off the Inheritance Games series. So I finished book 3. I gave that one a 4-star. I enjoyed the series as a whole. I don't really remember specifically what that one was about. I remember how it ended, but I don't remember the build up to the end. Still pretty good. I think it was a good way to wrap everything up. I still really liked it. I thought it was good. The only thing is now going into book 4. Is there a book 4? There's The Brothers Hawthorne. I don't know if I want to read that. I have it. I got it because I was in the middle of the series, but then this kind of wrapped it up. So I'm like, I don't really know if I want to continue. I don't know if I really care enough about it to continue. I also don't want it to feel like a super big epilogue. So if you have read that one and you feel like it's beneficial to the story or you liked it, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. But I have heard people say that it's not, you know, good. They don't like it and it doesn't benefit the story whatsoever. So let me know your opinions on that. I don't know if I said it already, but the Final Gambit, I gave it a 4-star. Really good, really enjoyed it. Really good way to end the series off if I don't choose to continue. Okay, this is the book that quite literally inspired this entire video. I wanted to do this video because I wanted to talk about this book. I read Dead of Winter. This book. And I don't say this to be that type of person that's like, oh, I'm so smart, like I get, no. Okay, I'm not smart. I'm pretty dumb all across the board. Like, I'm aware of that. This book, when I tell you, I guessed the plot twist on the 1st to 2nd chapter. Not a big deal. Whatever. I just like, this is probably what's gonna happen. It's definitely this person. Like, this is my thought. This is my thought. This is probably the only book that I have read that I have like actually guessed the plot twist that I was so mad that I guessed. Like, so mad. If I did not guess this plot twist and if I went into this blind, if this was something I did not expect at all, oh my gosh, mind blown. Like, my brain would have exploded. This book was so good. It was the perfect mix of horror and adrenaline and thriller and plot twist. Just the whole time you're like, who did it? Who did it? Again, I already had it in my head, so I was like, you know, what if it changes? You know, I'm still reading, I'm still along for the ride. I'm not like, oh yeah, this is 100%, like, I don't know. I just guess, like, yeah, that's probably who did it. That's my guess. Curse my smarts, curse my big brain that I have in my head that is just so genius that I had to guess this plot twist. I'm joking, but seriously, oh my gosh, the one time that guessing a plot twist has actually ruined the book for me. If you have not read this book, if you are not like skilled at guessing plot twists, I feel like I am. I feel like you can tell. Like, it's just kind of like, you know, you know how they write thriller books, you know who ends up being it, and then you can kind of put that together whenever you're reading another book. If you're not very good at guessing plot twists, anything like that, this book, so good. It is very, I don't even want to say it's that graphic. It's graphic for like a book. I don't think it's that bad, personally. I mean, I read Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, that book. Scratch that, I read Cows. You want to talk about graphic? But, oh my gosh, so good. Check your trigger warnings. If it's in your realm of like comfortability, read it. It is so good. I give it a 4-star. Only because I guessed that plot twist. I'm telling you, if I did not guess the plot twist, if I had no idea what was coming, if I had no inclination in my head whatsoever that that was what was happening, it would have been a 5-star. Absolutely. Like I said, it killed it for me. It really killed it for me. I was so upset, but oh my gosh. So I loved it. I loved it. Again, I literally wanted to make this entire video because I wanted to talk about that book because I didn't read it in a video. Read it if you have not. I highly, highly recommend it. It was so good. It was so good. Maybe don't read it though if you're going camping soon. That's the only thing I'll say. Okay, moving on from that, I read Scythe. It was not my favorite. Again, I say this all the time. I don't know what I expect with things, but it was not what I was expecting. There are instances where I have watched things, read things, and genuinely, it is not even in the realm of possibility of what I could have expected in my head, like not even a little bit. This was kind of that. I would not have expected that at all. Definitely not what I figured I would have got from that book. And I wasn't even that pleased with what I've got. So I gave this one a 3-star. It was fine. It was like not bad, but I definitely didn't like it. It really hurt me to try to get through. I just didn't really care for the characters. I mean, I think it could be kind of interesting to continue the series, but I don't really want to. I don't really care. I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to continue that series. I did give it a 3-star. Definitely not bad, but it just was not what I wanted out of the book. I think that it could have been so much better, and I think it's really disappointing that I felt that way because I know people have rated it so highly. I know a lot of people love it. It's got the freaking award on the top of it. Like, it's supposed to be so good. I thought I was gonna love it, but I didn't really care for it. It was just okay. Then the second book that I read that inspired this video, We Used to Live Here, I will say about this one, I heard or I saw a review that somebody said that it was originally a short story that they turned into like a long form book. And I think with horror books, that's something that's very common. That's something that I hear or see a lot of books that were short stories that they turn it into like a full book. But then because of that, there's a lot of random filler in there that doesn't necessarily need to be there. That kind of causes some confusion. You're like not really sure where it's going because of that. And I did notice a lot of that with this book. I don't remember if I saw that before or after I read the book, but I did notice it based off of that comment. I don't think that I would have noticed if I didn't already know that, or at least I don't think I would have noticed it as much. But there was a lot of stuff going on in that book that really just didn't matter to the storyline whatsoever. I mean, things that were being found that had no relevance. I mean, maybe for like a second, but not even that much. But like, not really. There was like a stuffed animal or something that we talked about so much that I was getting annoyed at. I was like, we don't need to, like, this doesn't matter. It maybe had some relevance like at one point in terms of like looking at its coloring or something like that. But I just, like, it didn't matter. It had no relevancy to the story whatsoever. So I will say there was a lot of that. If that's something that annoys you or you like cannot deal with that, not for you. Other than that, this book was really, really interesting. I did not expect the end. I mean, I did expect something along those lines, but I definitely didn't like know that that's where we were going. And again, I try not to read too much into it. I try not to like super guess what's gonna happen because I do want to enjoy the ending. I do want to write it out and be like, oh my God, for like that ending where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like putting pieces together and figuring it out, like, this is crazy. I love that. This book was so interesting and just confusing. You're like following along with what's going on and you're like, why, like what's the deal? Like, why are these people being like this? Why are they being weird? Why are we doing this? Why is this happening? And then it's like, oh. And then you think something's happening, but like it's just so confusing because it's like, oh, this is telling you one thing, but it's like, do you trust that? Do you not trust that? I don't really know. I just don't know what to do. I would not want to be the main character in this situation. I wouldn't want to deal with that. That would scare me to death. But without spoiling anything, which is kind of gonna be hard, I feel like. Overall plot of this story, we're following this main character. I cannot remember her name to save my life. She's at home hanging out when she hears a knock on her door, doorbell ring, whatever, and it's his family, and the dad is claiming that he used to live there before, and he asks if they can take a tour of the house. He can show his kids where he grew up. And she finally gives in, lets him come in, and then they get stuck there because of a snowstorm, something like that. So they are now stuck in this house, and then a bunch of weird things starts happening to her, and she kind of gets, you know, like terrified of being in this house with not only this family, but like everything that she sees that's going on in the house. So I really liked it. Again, I didn't like the filler. I could definitely tell. I think I would have enjoyed the short story a little bit more or without the extra details added in there, but I gave it a 4-star. I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was so good. I loved it, and the ending definitely threw me for a loop. I was reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, I would have, like, who can think of that? Not me, I'm not talented enough for that, but like, really good. I enjoyed it. 4-star. Then, surprisingly, I gave The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue a 4-star. I really liked that book. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much. I thought it was gonna be kind of boring. I thought it was gonna be really historical fiction. I thought I wasn't gonna love it. I thought it was gonna be annoying to get through, and after reading We Used to Live Here and Dead of Winter, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna enjoy this. There's no way I'm gonna like it, but I've had this book for freaking years, so I need to read it. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was such a sweet story. I really enjoyed their romance connection. Loved it. The ending kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. It's kind of annoying, but like, it is what it is. It made sense for the story. I get it, but like, didn't want it. Didn't really like it. But I liked it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was so good. It felt very like comforting. It was like a comforting book. So I thought it was cute. Next, Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I give this one a 4-star. I'm gonna be so honest. Looking back at it, I think the overall storyline was a 3-star, but I think that the romance aspects that were sprinkled in there was like a 4-star. So I'm really kind of in between. I think if I were to go back, I would give it like maybe a 3.5 is like mentally where I feel like it sits in my heart, but you know, I don't really do the half stars like that. I honestly could drop it down. I just remember I really liked their like little relationship. I thought that was cute. Other than that, the story was really, really YA in some parts. I don't like when the younger characters are immature, they act in rash ways. I don't like when that stuff happens because then it's just like this, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions type of thing, they end up blowing up relationships and it's like this detrimental fight that they get into because they just wanted to do something kind of like stupid and immature that they shouldn't be doing, and they know they shouldn't be doing it, but they do it anyways, and it's like, don't do that, grow up. I think recently a lot of stuff like that has been getting on my nerves, and I think because of that there was some of that in this book, and I think that was kind of a push for me to be like, yeah, I don't really care for YA books that much anymore. I don't mind a YA Len Painter book, and I don't think I'll mind like a YA Holly Jackson book every now and then, but I don't think overall as a whole YA is necessarily something that I like and I'm into very much anymore. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go in and change it. I might if I'm like really thinking on it or something. It's still a 4-star right now on my Goodreads, but I don't know how I feel about that anymore. So we'll keep it a 4-star for now. If you see it change on my Goodreads, you know why. Then I read Love in Other Words, and to be honest, I don't really remember. This is about the book in the closet. I did not like this book that much. I thought it was gonna be so much better than it was. I didn't care for it. I think again, young romance is fine. Them being in love for the first time, I think that was sweet. I think they had a lot of spicy conversations as kids though, so that was kind of odd reading about. I didn't really want to read about that. And then I also didn't like the present day chapters. I just didn't care about their present romance at all. And then, like I said, the past was just, it was fine sometimes. Sometimes I didn't like it. Sometimes it was cute, whatever. But it just was not my favorite romance by any means. I was expecting to absolutely love this book and it be the best romance I've ever read. I've heard a lot of people say that this is like their favorite romance book ever and they reread it all the time. Will not be me. I'm sorry, will not be me. I gave it a 3-star. I need to go back and I need to refine my ratings. I guess it really doesn't matter. I can rate it whatever I want to and my rating system can be whatever my rating system is, but I just feel like my 3-star category is like this massive range of whatever. I think I need to start dropping some things down into 2 stars and be a little bit more harsh with it, but yeah, not a fan. Not a fan of this one. Most Eligible, this book, pretty good. I think that the romance-ish, kind of weird. I think the idea of being on a dating show but not really being into the guy that's on the show, but like somebody that works on the show, kind of weird. I didn't really care for the sneaking around in that. I think it would have been fun to read like an actual Bachelor style book, but I mean at the same time they already have shows for that, so it's not like we really need anything that similar. I think that the difference and having like a different type of romance from it was fun. I think it was enjoyable because then you can kind of find like other people that were like not necessarily there for the right reasons. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It made me want to rewatch The Bachelor like so bad. Like I wanted to go watch it really bad. I have not since then watched it, but I did give this one a 4-star. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was like a cool, fun, atmospheric book. I felt like I was just watching the show, which is kind of nice. Then I read this in a whole video in itself, so I won't talk about it too much, but I read Just Friends by Haley Pham. I thought it was cute. I thought it was good for a first book. A lot of people disagree with me on that. I don't care. I think that there were some things that didn't really connect for me. I didn't love the romance part of it. I have heard some people, or at least in my comment sections, I've had some people say that it wasn't actually supposed to be a romance book and that it was actually more of like a women's fiction or whatever type of book like that. That would make more sense. To me, everything was just completely targeted as a second chance romance. Therefore, when the romance was very, very mid, I was kind of confused because I figured that it wouldn't be super romancy. I figured that the romance would be super light, minimal. I did not think that it was going to be that light and that minimal. I don't even remember if they kissed. Maybe like once or twice. But I think it was more of trying to expand on like the feelings that you get when things happen. Like, oh, I just feel butterfly, whatever. But like we're not really seeing why. I'm not really seeing why he's giving you the butterflies, just that he is giving you the butterflies. And I think for me, I definitely want a little bit more of that. Like I want to see why. I want him to be doing the cute things where I can swoon over him too, not just you. But it was just her swooning over him, but like I didn't really understand how, and I wasn't connected because I didn't see their romance, and also with the backstory we didn't really see much romance there either. So the romance was kind of boring for me. I didn't really care about that. I also saw somebody bring up a point where the same thing happened with the other characters. We didn't see much connection from early on with them either. Maybe just like a couple connection points here and there with each other character, but not enough for us to really feel that connection with them ourselves. So me as a reader, I'm reading it as if I'm reading somebody's journal, kind of like, oh, this is how I felt, not necessarily this is what he did, this is how, you know what I mean? It just kind of felt like a journal entry in a way. It was not bad. I think I enjoyed the regular aspects of it more than I did the romance. I think if there was no romance in it at all, I would have enjoyed it more because I would have been longing for more romance. And I think that if it wasn't marketed as heavily as a romance, I think that would have been more easy for me to get into and know, hey, this is not gonna be a romance, so I'm not expecting it as much. So yeah, gave that one a 3-star. I'm definitely not mad about it for a debut novel. So I thought it was cute, but definitely not my favorite. And then lastly, I was going to read this in a video, but I ended up like DNFing the other 2 books that I was gonna read in the video, so I just did away with it. I read Fourth Wing. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I really don't even know what to say about it, to be honest. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The dragons, I thought that the names were gonna be so much harder to pronounce. I thought I was gonna be struggling the entire time getting through it and trying to figure out what they were called, but it was pretty easy, like not that big of a deal. I thought it was good. I liked it. I'm very eager to get into book 2. I think the way that we ended off definitely has me eager to go back into it, not gonna lie. Pretty good. I'm glad that I read that one. To be honest with you, I do think that there's some books that I've read that I didn't put on my Goodreads. I started this video out and I was like, man, I only have to February. I don't have anything for March filled in whatsoever. So I don't know. There's probably some other books that I have read that I just haven't listed on there and probably won't make it on there. I did try to review everything and see like what books I would have read, because I've only been reading physical books right now, so it's not like I couldn't just look on my shelf and see what's missing, but I haven't seen anything that I have read, so I don't know. Maybe this is it, maybe it's not. Who knows? I would probably never know. But let me know if you have read any of these books. Let me know what you have thought about them. And then also don't forget to let me know what you thought about Brothers Hawthorne. Let me know if you think that it's something that I should read, or if being someone that doesn't really like epilogues, probably shouldn't pick it up because it's just gonna be a big long continuation of nothing. But as always, I greatly appreciate you for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hopefully will get to see you in the next one next week. See ya!